Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of The Overanalysts, tackling a variety of serious and silly subjects surrounding gaming as both a culture and an industry every week. So glad to have you with us today. My name is Brady, or The Overanalyst, on Twitch and various other platforms, and I am joined, as always, by Martina, or Seth the Overwitch, on Twitch.
Hi.
And Mate, or Comrade Potato, on Twitch.
Ahoy.
How are you guys doing today?
Tired. It's the end of the day for us, so.
Yeah.
It's like 1 in the afternoon over here, but I also feel exhausted, so we're synchronized. Awesome.
So we are, from the future, and unfortunately, it still sucks.
Good to know. I was curious.
Technically, I'm in the past because I'm in the land before internet.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay. All you need to know is in a few years, Rick Astley is going to be really big again, and nobody's going to be exactly sure why.
Oh yeah, and buy Bitcoin. Just buy fucking Bitcoin.
Oh yeah, and Cyberpunk sucks. So please don't buy their stocks.
Cyberpunk sucks.
That's mostly not for me.
So does Cyberpunk cybersecurity.
Yep.
Cyber sucks.
Man, somebody dumped a lot of points into Breach Protocol.
Oh yeah, I actually saw that the hackers are auctioning off the code. Like, who would want to buy that?
Man, look, I'm pretty sure I know nothing about technology. I'm pretty sure I could code Cyberpunk at my desk in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure you'd fail. It would probably just work fine.
So today's topic, very broadly, is going to be streaming, kind of our experiences with streaming specifically on Twitch as a platform, but this, kind of like the platformer episode, is going to focus largely on our personal experiences with a phenomenon or like a subculture within this broader space. And it's something that I'm really looking forward to tackling because all three of us, I think, have vastly different levels of experience with not just streaming ourselves, but streaming as like a community that people can participate in as an audience. And we've probably all got very distinct perspectives on it as a whole as a result, and that's something I really like to see here. Quickly though, if I may, before we dive into the main topic, what's everybody been playing or investing their time in this week?
So I have had a brain freeze right now. Right. So, sorry. I've started playing Luigi's Mansion 3.
Ooh!
Which has been in my backlog for such a long time. And also I finished Hyrule Warriors, Age of Calamity. I'm really happy about the game and how they made it. It's really interesting, and even though I was never into these Warriors type of games, I think that this one really fit well with the narrative.
So you would recommend it even to people who maybe aren't the biggest fans of Muso games?
I was never a fan of it. I just bought it because I wanted to know what was the prequel story to Breath of the Wild, and I did not regret it.
Right on. Yeah. And how have you been finding Luigi's Mansion so far? It's one of my favorite Switch games.
I gotta say, there is still one thing that I hate about it that I hated also in the second installment, and that is the speed of Luigi's movement.
Yeah.
It just annoys the hell out of me, but it does fit with the whole narrative of him being terrified of ghosts.
Luigi shuffles.
But other than that, it's adorable. Yeah, he shuffles, and then if you're Guigi, then you don't give a shit.
No. And why would you not be Guigi? Guigi is just the best.
Yeah, exactly. Why be Luigi when you can be Guigi?
Luigi?
Yeah, there is a gelatin
Luigi.
A gelatin-based replica of Luigi that a second player can control or that you can toggle between. That you get about a fourth of the way through the game.
Yeah, something like that.
Right on. Potato, what have you been playing, man?
Well, with my limited internet, I haven't actually been playing pretty much anything. I've just been fucking about a bit with cryptocurrencies, and I've been ordering a shit fucking ton of electronic stuff.
Oh, nice.
So what is your next project?
I'm not entirely sure. I just bought a bunch of generic components, and I'm just gonna start fucking around with it. I might
You know,
upgrade my tiny macro keyboard.
no, what you need to do is develop some kind of like jury rigged homemade like antenna array and set yourself up as like a local ISP. Like just develop the
You know what you
infrastructure
could?
yourself.
Yeah, basically.
Or maybe I can just buy access to Starlink from Papa Elon. Just give me that
Yeah,
sweet satellite internet.
Well,
Probably better than any
but
shit you can get
what I
here.
was thinking about your keyboard thingy, like what you could do is send it to Marcus to paint it, and then have like an amazing custom keyboard.
Yeah, but I'm not really happy with the one I built. Plus, it has a board I don't want to keep in there because it costs a lot more than I want to put into a macro keyboard. So I have to rebuild it like completely from scratch. But I also found a design that has like slider pots. So with like a MIDI
mhm.
plugin for OBS, you can use it to turn up and down certain volume sliders in OBS,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of useful.
That sounds extremely useful, actually, given the frequency with which I personally run into audio issues.
Yeah, that's kind of why I been looking into it.
Now imagine getting one of those keyboards, but then you toss it over to Marcus for like a Tomba skin or a Salmon
Oh
Max
no,
skin.
just a bunch of potatoes
There you go. How do you
instead of keycaps. Potatoes.
how do you tell one key from the next? You don't. You just intuit through the tubers. Let them
Yep.
guide you.
Exactly.
You just potato through. Anyways, what about you, Brady? What have you been playing?
So when I've had the spare time, given that I'm like taking a couple classes and teaching one in what I believe can very loosely be called fully professional style, I've had less free time than I would expect. Things are kind of evening out now, though. I've been polishing off the No More Heroes series as it currently stands, so 2 main entries and a side game over on Twitch. Really enjoy them. They're fairly simple hack and slashes, but I think both of you have seen at least some of the gameplay. Um, the combat at least feels very meaty and impactful. So, is it complex?
Mm-hmm.
No. Does it feel good? Yes. A lot of the bosses are really inventive in their design. Um, Again, Captain Vladimir from the second game, probably one of my favorite character action bosses to date. And I found out a little bit inadvertently, because the internet is full of spoilers anymore, that a couple familiar faces will be returning for the third game, where a major theme in the narrative and the aesthetic is like sleek futurism and the aesthetics of like Silver and Bronze Age superheroes. So I'm really, really looking forward to that when it drops later this year. But I've also been getting back
Mm-hmm.
into Pokemon. I've not played a Pokemon game in about 12 years. And since I know they do well on Twitch and kind of wanted to try one out with my audience, I bought Pokemon Sword. And I am having a grand old time, like just beating the crap out of adorable little pets with an army of monsters. Um, no, like
Should we call Pita?
PETA doesn't like Pokemon to begin with.
Mm.
One of my or something that just naturally happened throughout the first few hours was everybody else was running around all the other trainers with these little squirrels and fish and what have you. And just because they were the Pokemon I happened to catch, I was running around with like, oh, here's like an undead spirit possessing a pumpkin. Here's a very, very angry songbird. Here's a little panda that like professionally antagonizes human beings for fun. So my team is like pure evil. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. I'm having a good time with it. Pokemon in its aesthetic presentation has come a long, long way since I was young. But that's the long version of what I've been up to.
Nice. All right. So, as we said earlier, today's topic is going to be Twitch, and we're gonna first start with a little bit of Twitch's, history, how it came to be, what it is about, and then we're gonna give our opinions on it, since we are all three of us are streaming there, or at least trying to, and are there frequently. So. All right, let's just start with a small introduction. Basically, Twitch came to life about 9 years ago now. Well, almost 10. And it was first called Justin TV because, one of the creator was called Justin. So,
A
yay.
small correction though, 13 years ago, 2007.
Yeah, was it
Really?
was it rebranded as Twitch about 9 or so years ago?
It was rebranded as Twitch in 2014.
Okay. Yeah, I was about to say, because I know that Justin
no,
been
okay.
around for a while.
Okay, so apparently Justin TV was the name of the company and the name of the website, but it had various categories, not just gaming. And then they started a gaming spin-off called Twitch TV in June 2011. And yeah, then in the end everything became Twitch after some time. But yeah, I think most of the people were aware of Twitch a little bit later, especially during the time that it got acquired by Amazon.
Yes.
And still is part of Amazon. That's when all the shit hit the fan and Twitch basically became a money grabbing. I was gonna say piece of shit, but I'm not gonna be that rude, so I'm just gonna think about them being pieces of
There
shit.
you go.
Yeah. Anyways, in October 2013, apparently the website had 45 million concurrent viewers, which was an amazing feat at that feat. Feet.
Yeah, feet.
Not the foot, but the other thing. However, of course, it's not really it's not able to be broadcasted everywhere since of its questionable content in some categories. For example, China banned it altogether, and there was one other country that banned it. I think it was India. Let me see just a second. Yeah, India. It was just banned by a specific telecommunication company, so it's not just throughout the entire country, but just like one ISP banned it. I mean, I am assuming that everyone listening right now knows what Twitch is. Basically, a website where you can stream your content, whether it's gaming or anything else. You can even apparently sit still with your boobies out, and that's gonna be fine.
Or sleep.
Or sleep, stream your chair.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but originally, and until relatively recently, a few years back, Twitch was rather strict about the type of content which could be broadcasted, and almost exclusively requested its broadcasters to stream gaming, correct?
Before they were bought out by Amazon, I don't know when it's exactly changed, but they did have literally a report function, non-gaming content.
Yeah, and I want to say under Amazon, because I remember there have been changes made to this, like the rules governing this since I've been watching Twitch, which is not all that long. The types of content like cooking or chatting or like, I don't know, sports or what have you, that can be broadcast on Twitch that are not related to gaming have very gradually been expanded, right? Like originally, I think the first permission made was, if you just want to stream yourself talking or hosting a talk show or whatever, you can do that. But you can't like just stream yourself cooking or what have you or anything like that. And they expanded these categories to offer a more diverse portfolio of content over time. Isn't that right? It wasn't like a dichotomy from gaming only to effectively whatever you want. Or am I wrong?
No, it slowly started like expanding. But now you even have like channels that just show Bob Ross painting episodes.
Or Mr. Rogers, yeah.
Which is actually not bad, let's be honest, but still, like...
Yeah.
Is it something that should be on Twitch? Maybe not.
Questionable, but yeah. Anyways, also the rising popularity of Twitch also brought with itself rise of popularity of esports,
Mm-hmm.
because quite a lot of esports tournaments were able to be broadcasted to the audience all across the world now. So games like Apex Legends, Overwatch, Counter-Strike, various other games became quite popular as the streaming content. So Blizzard Entertainment apparently signed a 2-year deal in 2017 to be exclusively broadcasting on Twitch.
Okay.
So events like BlizzCon and Overwatch League was broadcasted on Twitch. Now they fucked off to YouTube Gaming, but so. Also, at some point, Twitch acquired Internet Games Database, which is like the gaming version of the Internet Movie Database, which is the reason why no matter which game you type into your search bar, you can find it there.
Extremely handy feature, by the way.
Yeah, very, very handy feature. I mean, you probably know about the most popular names from Twitch, like Team the Tatman, Dr. Disrespect, Ninja was on Twitch. And Twitch has never been too shy to promote their most valuable faces.
Pretty aggressively.
Also, like, pretty aggressively, yes. Even going so far as to put ads on other people's streams that would bring people to the most popular streamer's stream.
Yep.
For example, that was happening while Ninja was the #1 streamer on Twitch. However, Twitch also has been very well known for making some incredibly stupid decisions.
Yep.
And also having very debatable way of handling various reports, and also people doing the same thing but being of different gender and
we
stuff.
Discussed this,
for example,
in episode 4, didn't we? The fact that women, correct me if I'm wrong, very broadly seem to be generally policed more strictly insofar as what they can do, sometimes even say on the platform, than like male streamers do.
Unless they bring in a lot of money, then they can do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, but
so we can, I think, safely assume that the issue is not even like gender, but mostly how much money they bring the platform.
Revenue.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because I was about to say, like, I assume at his height on the platform, somebody like Ninja, who I believe was the most popular live streamer by just audience count and subscriber count, period, could probably do just short of anything he wanted to, right? Even though he didn't, he was, from what I understand, relatively well behaved, but
yeah, he was actually a pretty okay streamer. I mean, most of his audience were children, but he was also catering to that audience, so it was absolutely fine. The problem came when he signed a deal with Mixer, moved on to Mixer, and then for some reason his stream for a while also had some porn on it.
What?
And Twitch took a long time to take that down. Like it was there for, I think, a good couple of minutes.
He didn't put it there, I assume.
No, he didn't. He wasn't the one who put it there. I think it was a host or something like that.
I was about
like an auto host.
I was about to say.
Inside job, yes.
All right, folks, welcome to the stream tonight. We're doing something very special. We are going to be speedrunning Destroying My Career.
Yeah. Also, one of the most questionable decisions Twitch has made in the last year was they signed a multi-year deal with Dr. Disrespect at the start of 2020 and then permanently banned him towards the end of 2020. Without any reason, or without publicly saying what the reason was.
No, I'm not overly familiar with him beyond his admittedly very, very like appealing, like gimmicky aesthetic, like this fake playing a character of like a fake 1980s video game champion. But he has, the man himself, been at the center of several like controversies over the years, right?
That is true.
Yeah.
Yes. When it comes to Doctor Disrespect, like his character, I'm kind of looking at him as Borat of Twitch. You
Yeah.
know, just a complete fake persona that is absolutely exaggerated and trying to mock everything around him, like a satirical character.
So Twitch's
Um,
managerial
yep.
decisions at best appear kind of erratic as a whole.
Yeah, sometimes it's really hard to understand why they're doing things that are doing unless their one and only reason is to make as much money as possible in the shortest amount of time, and then just turning off the platform.
Yeah. And also, fucking screwing over the streamers is always a nice added bonus.
Small streamers,
Yeah,
especially.
Yeah.
small streamers definitely,
But
yes.
like as for the Doctor Disrespect ban, while I do not mind shitting on Twitch, since neither side went out with any reason as to why he was banned, I'm thinking there was some fuckery going around and there's an NDA in play. So that's why no one
Probably
is saying
yes.
anything. So
Yep.
the blame might not be solely on Twitch.
So, Twitch, not a perfect platform, far from it. This begs the question and allows us to segue here. Why then why do so many people favor it, do you think, over other streaming services? Because there are many.
Simple. It was the pretty much the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's generally
And
how it goes.
yeah. And unfortunately, right now, there is no better alternative. Like, there are alternatives, but they're either the same or worse. So it's just not worth it. For a while, there was this platform by Microsoft called Mixer, which was starting to grow and getting better and better. But for some reason, they just did not grow as fast as they expected, and they just shut it down in, I think, March of last year. So then everyone from Mixer was forced to either go back on Twitch or to find some other platform, mostly YouTube gaming or Facebook gaming.
And as I understand it, you've spoken at length about this to us before. You were a considerable presence on Mixer yourself, isn't that right?
Yes, I had around 1,500 followers on Mixer, and I managed to get that in about, let's say, 8 to 10
Goodness
months,
gracious.
something like that. The good thing about Mixer is that the visibility of smaller streamers was much better handled than on Twitch. So you could really, you could really find new viewers without having to do all sorts of bullshit. The problem was that, well, after I had to forcefully make the shift from Mixer to Twitch, I lost, I'd say, 80% of the viewership.
Right.
So it was just like gone from one day to the other. The entire community was just disappeared. Also, I had to adjust to the new ways of streaming because Twitch is quite harsh with some of the censorships or DMCA claims and stuff like that. While Mixer was a little bit more lax. So if you were not monetizing your content, so if you were not a partner, then you could play whatever you wanted on your stream because you were not making money off of it. While here, even if you have in the background for a couple of seconds a certain song that is copyrighted, your entire channel can get banned.
What?
Yeah, and I think firstly it goes like 24-hour temporary ban, then I think 3-day, then 1 week, and then permaban or something like that.
I've only ever received not copyright strikes, but like automated recognition of music and mutes for one thing, and that was friggin' Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah, like for gaming music it's mostly okay, but for popular music it's quite terrible right now. That's why there is a rise in popularity of those royalty-free music channels where you can just find yourself 100 electronic music songs that you can play on your stream.
All of those damn lo-fi study beats.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's much fucking worse than that. It's like you can get striked Stroked?
Struck.
Strike.
Stroked.
Strike.
Struck, not
Struck.
stroked.
Copyright.
Striking and stroked.
I know I'm fucking about. Like, you can get a copyright strike for having a background music in your game that's copyrighted. Like, fuck off. Also, I've seen reports of people getting copyright strikes because of it accidentally recognizing like sound effects as certain copyrighted sounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Oh,
doorbells and shit. I don't know. Like,
yeah, it was quite bad. There is also quite a lot of reports about people getting banned because they had a deleted clip or VOD that had a copyrighted
Yeah, I
music.
know.
oh
So,
yeah,
and yeah.
yeah. Twitch like gave out everyone a we're gonna start being more strict on
Mhm.
copyrighted stuff. So please delete all your VODs, even though you might have like thousands of them with
Mhm.
anything copyrighted. And people are like, oh fuck. Well, I only have a week to do this, and they rushed and did it, and still got a copyright strike for deleted stuff.
Right, no, and
Mhm.
if I recall, Twitch issued an explanation, something to the effect of, well, it still doesn't erase the fact that you did it in the past, and we need to
Yeah.
enforce these rules. So it's like, what's the point?
Yeah. So yeah, they are very, very questionable with their decisions. Also, they're quite known with having a very slow adjustment periods to either new things going on in the
Yeah.
world. For example, there were quite a lot of reports about either hate speech or harassment, not only women but other marginalized groups on Twitch. And there was almost nothing from Twitch, whether it was a new rule or maybe like the Twitch PR team coming out and giving a statement or something, until I think a couple of months after. And it was only because they were bombarded by everyone on Twitter asking for them to do something.
So we touched on this on our Women in Gaming episode, but this is just Brady's personal like theory behind a lot of the sluggish responses to, you know, hate speech, xenophobia, really abusive and intolerable behavior in a lot of these communities. We see it from developers or publishers, I should say, all the time in regards to like online communities, or the way they develop content to cater to them. I think a lot of these corporate entities are so terrified of pissing off like the really toxic, extremely vocal, like kind of arch right wing segments of their fan base. You know, the same people who like attempted to dox, harass, and assault feminist video game critics earlier in the last decade. And potentially lose their business, that they will allow what they perceive to be a smaller market share represented by various marginalized groups, even though it's not usually a smaller market share, to just lay by the wayside. Like, we can't lose those hardcore gamers. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? That's my theory.
I kind of think there's also a bit of let's ignore it for a while. Maybe it just goes
Yeah.
away on its own.
Yeah.
Like, you know, let's do less work. That
Seems like it, yes.
Yeah.
But something.
Yeah, as I said, like for me, it really seems like they're trying to make as much money as possible in a short amount of time and then just fuck off.
And something.
And it's reflected in their decisions.
A lot of these organizations need to understand, especially when it comes to conflict, when it comes to harassment, when it comes to maltreatment within a community. Even those who, something like the devs of Euro Truck Simulator recently said, even though they added coronavirus vaccine running missions to one of their games, that they don't have a stance on the vaccine to avoid pissing off anti-vaxxers, which is just, don't get me started. Saying nothing in times of conflict like this, especially within a community that you're responsible for overseeing or moderating, is still making a statement. And it's effectively saying this conflict, this antagonism, this mistreatment of certain groups or communities as the status quo currently is more or less all right with us.
Mm-hmm.
And I get it. Twitch is kind of sluggish in general, but it seems like a lot of larger developers and publishers, if those like hardcore kind of pseudo right wing, really loud quote unquote gamers TM were crowing and complaining about something, don't you feel like maybe corporate would respond a bit faster to their concerns?
Mm-hmm.
Just sorry, that's Brady's soapbox for today. Brady's vaguely coherent soapbox. Should we move into like our personal experiences with streaming?
Sure, you can start.
Oh no, I was going to say, Martina, we might want to start with you because I'm fairly certain you've been doing this the longest by a pretty healthy margin, right?
Yeah, I think I started streaming on Twitch when a little bit before I moved to Germany, so it was around start of 2016. Something around that time. And I mostly streamed because I had friends in Croatia that I did not, was not able to keep in touch quite often. Because firstly, I moved from my hometown to the city where I studied, and then from there I moved directly to Germany. So that was one of the ways for me to keep in touch with my friends. Um, at that time, I would maybe have like 1 to 2 viewers. It took me quite a long time to reach the affiliate status as well, because I was never streaming popular games. I was always streaming just what I wanted to play. So also my chat would usually be empty. I would be streaming for no one, just trying to talk to myself and play games that I liked. And for me, that was fine. Unfortunately, when you don't have an audience, you're quite an easy target for trolls. So during that time, usually every stream, basically there would be at least one person that would drop in and either say something in the lines of, "Oh my fucking god, there is another like e-girl," or "Go back to the kitchen," or just like some sort of bullshit, or like, "I'm gonna donate you £1 if you show me your tits," or stuff like that. Just like typical harassment bullshit that you can see on
Like
Twitch.
why too? If you're a small streamer, like someone with a kind of developing audience, that means they are going out of their way to like start sifting through this directory of streamers playing a game or whatever, and like just making the rounds, going to all of these channels, dropping a message, and running. Like, what enjoyment can people possibly get from that?
Yeah, I mean, I never really took it too much to heart, but I gotta say, at least at first, like maybe during the first year, it would really kill my
Sure.
mood to stream. Because like I would never really feed the trolls, I would just ignore them, but it would still make me angry, right? So I was like, why do I keep doing this if I'm not growing, and the only thing that I get is harassment from random strangers? So after some time, I decided to move on to Mixer, because I heard that the audience is generally more welcoming and nicer. And for all it's worth, it definitely was. It was a much less toxic environment, and I really enjoyed my time there. The only problem that Mixer had is that quite a big amount of people that were there were children. Mostly from Xbox, because Xbox had integrated
Xbox
Mixer.
Live, great.
And yeah, exactly. And quite often the first sentence that people would write in your stream is, "Hi, I'm 12," or something like that, which I have no idea why that was a thing, but that was a thing. And that was genuinely something that people were doing. It was not just like a troll thing.
That
And then unfortunately, because Mixer died, I had to come back to Twitch this time around. I had a much more pleasant experience, mostly because I already had a community that I grown on Mixer. So usually I would be streaming for like 5 to 10 people, which for me is quite a nice audience that I can, interact with peacefully without having to go through a chat that is like super high speed, and without having to compromise the gameplay. So for me that was a much more enjoyable experience. And with having an audience, also the trolls kind of disappeared. So now I maybe have like once a month somebody come in to troll for like maybe 5 seconds, and then either one of the mods ban them or they just leave by themselves. So it's much nicer now.
I've noticed.
However,
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. No. You can.
Just working as one of your mods, kind of quote unquote working. Whenever we have behavior that could be like classified as trolling, you're right in that overwhelmingly it's one off, and then the person just doesn't send a second message because like the chat already
Yeah.
has a conversation ongoing and they can't disrupt it very
Mhm.
easily.
Yeah.
Or they're dealt with really, really swiftly by usually one of
Mhm.
the other mods. Most of what we get on Twitch, at least like our community, I think the worst behavior we have to take action against is like just automated like view bots running by.
Wanna get
Yeah.
famous?
Yeah. Yeah. Wanna get famous? Big
Big
follows. Big
follows.
follows. Yeah. Thankfully, if you just ban the words "big follows," you automatically ban all of those bots. So that's like a nice way to not have them in your stream because they all have exactly the same message. They're not really that smart.
Yeah. Pro tips. Well, they do use like those weird letters characters
Yeah.
to try and avoid most filters, but I think they put all the like back follows links without those. So if you just ban that,
Yeah.
pro tips.
Yeah, exactly. The more you know. But yeah, I think that this time around, my personal experience on Twitch is much nicer. However, I am struggling with one thing that I think everyone, all the streamers that are like smaller or mid-sized, are struggling with, and that is discoverability. Like in 2020 and now 2021, everyone and their grandma is a streamer, is an affiliated streamer. Like I've seen so many people who are like, "Oh my god, I'm an affiliate. I'm becoming a famous streamer." Like, no, there's like what 10 million people who are also affiliate streamers. Like, you're basically still a nobody.
Yeah, you ain't shit, Cheryl.
You ain't shit. So yeah, it's just quite hard to be different than anyone else. And I've noticed that at least this is a big mistake that quite a lot of people make when they are starting on Twitch, is that, oh, I'm gonna be this person that is playing video games and I'm gonna be the next ninja. Like, no, you're not. Firstly, because ninja is one and only. He's like he's an exception, not a rule. And also, if you have like, I don't know, 5 million other streamers who are doing exactly the same thing, being a person playing video games, you're just not distinct enough that you are going to catch other people's attention.
See also
So
the number of one-hit
yeah.
wonders in pop music during the late 2000s.
Yeah, basically. So one thing that I've noticed though after I've come back to Switch is that there was a major increase in streams that I honestly don't understand how they're popular.
Such as?
I don't remember the name of it, but I remember when I went with my friend to just see what Twitch is going to recommend us, on their front page. There was this one streamer it was just a lady in a tight dress with quite a big cleavage, sitting on the bed looking towards the camera with music in the background, and that's it. She didn't do anything. That was the entire stream. She had 2.7k viewers and donations flying in every second.
I know I've said this before, but that sounds less entertaining or titillating or what have you, and just more unsettling to me. Like, that sounds creepy.
Yeah, and also, it's also quite weird because honestly, at some points, I wasn't sure if we were just watching, like, well, it wasn't a still image because I saw her, breathing and whatever, but like, it could have well be just a video that was on loop because she didn't react to the chat at all. She didn't say anything. It was just music going over and over again, like, one of those lo-fi kind of melodies with her just sitting there having like heavy makeup, cleavage, and that's about it. And most of the people that came in, I have no idea, to be honest. I did not focus on those eyes. Yeah, most of the people that came into the chat were all writing like, why the hell is this a stream? Like, what are we even watching? What is happening? Everyone is trying to figure out what the hell it is. But like, apparently Twitch's algorithm was like, you know what? This is a stream that deserves promotion. So we're going to put it on the front page for more and more people to come in, watch this idle streamer.
Huh.
It was just insane.
Any other strange content you noticed after returning to Twitch?
Well, not yeah, there's some like also gimmicky streams. Like there is this one guy that is streaming himself sleeping,
Yeah.
which and he also has quite a lot of viewers. I'm not sure, what the point of it is, but apparently that's also a thing. Was also an increase of those streamers that the only thing they do is comment, like watch and
Oh,
react
reaction
to YouTube
streamers. Yeah.
videos. Yeah, like reaction streamers, which I'm not sure how they are doing that because they are watching, copyrighted stuff on their stream. So I think they're kind of falling into this some sort of
Yeah,
gray
best
area.
case scenario, they
But
fall into a gray area.
yeah, exactly. And yeah, I mean, it's just quite a lot of these very weird streams like that are usually fall in the category of IRL streams, like in real life stream. And you're like, I don't understand how this thing has views, but
Now,
okay, you do you.
the guy who just streams himself sleeping, I can actually see a particular community developing around that, like a series of bookies who watch the streams, right, and start like taking bets. Okay, is he gonna roll over onto his other side before 4:30? What's the over under on that? Like,
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you can still see things like that happening. But yeah, mostly when I came back to Twitch after Mixer, my audience also has changed a little bit because before that I was exclusively an Overwatch streamer. So competitive Overwatch was what I was streaming all the time. Then when I came back to Twitch, I realized, well, Overwatch doesn't really. It's not a good game to stream if you want to grow your audience.
not very versatile.
It's exactly. It has a shit ton of viewers, but they are coming in to see professional not streamers, professional players, like someone with high quality gameplay. And most of the Overwatch streamers, at least on Twitch, are just not that. They are average at best, and it's like this is not really fun to watch. You're not learning, they're not showing you anything amazing, so it's just like watching a very mediocre game of football,
Like having-
like from a team from your neighborhood.
The kind of material you might like have on the TV in the background while you do some chores or like pay the bills or something like that.
Yeah, basically. So, nothing that interesting. So I decided to branch out a little bit and I started streaming, other games that I would pick up. At some point, I started streaming Souls-like games, and then my viewers went up by quite a lot because Souls-like games have an audience.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's a niche audience, but it's an audience, and they almost exclusively come to Twitch to watch exactly that type of content. So that was a really good way of growing the community and also trying out something new, at least for me.
Yeah.
So now I'm kind of, juggling both of those, maybe trying to figure out something else what to do. I've also noticed that when I was streaming stuff like art, so like just me drawing whatever and talking, also I would have a lot of viewers. Like at the time when I was having only, let's say, 2 to 3 viewers while playing any sort of game, I would have 20 to 30 while drawing. And the thing is that I'm not a professional artist. Like my artwork is not something that is breathtaking, that
really
is like jaw-dropping or whatever.
Freaking
Well,
good. Way to fish for compliments on a podcast.
It's shut up. I would say my art is cute, but it's very much amateur. Like, I'm not a trained artist. I don't have techniques or whatever. I just doodle and whatever comes out comes out. So for me, it was quite surprising to be getting that amount of viewers for that. But then when I was watching, some more professional art streamers, like they really have a lot of viewers. It's really a really good category on Twitch, and I think it's quite. It has quite a high quality as well.
Well, I think the real wisdom to the
yeah.
approach you've taken is you're passionate about a great many things that make for pretty entertaining viewing on like a streaming platform like Twitch, and you tried to broadcast or integrate all of them to some extent. And what you do as a result, right, is you dip your fingers into several different established audiences, like based around different art forms or genres and things like that. and you
Yeah.
expose them to your content and your community. And I think the thing a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people might not understand on the front end about streaming, at least on a platform like Twitch, you mentioned it with like people who look at a really popular creator and say, oh, I want to be like them, I
Yeah.
want to imitate that formula, is
Mm-hmm.
success. I say success, listen to me, I'm like, you say an affiliate isn't really anybody, I am like a pre-affiliate, I'm proto shit. um but
No, you just need to get your tax papers
we
in
are working,
order.
I am trying so hard. But so much of this, the sustainability of a Twitch channel, of a community like this in the long term, really is about that community. It's about, as the slogan is or was originally on YouTube, broadcasting yourself, your personality, your character,
Mm-hmm.
yourself as a public figure, and the ways in which people can interact with you. That's what this is
Yeah.
about, not a series of like pre-produced mannerisms, activities, things like that you could just copy from somebody else. A lot of
Yeah.
Ninja's audience, for instance, especially in the early days, um, wasn't watching just because they really love Fortnite. Oh my god. It was because they
Mm-hmm.
liked him. They liked something about the way he
Yeah.
presented himself, the way he came off on stream.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And I think that quite a lot of people don't understand that the viewers come in to see the game firstly, but then they return because of you.
Because they enjoy what people are doing
So,
with it.
and exactly, because that is actually the only metric that is valuable for you as a content creator, and that is how many people return. So, but yeah, it's also one thing worth mentioning, that I think that quite a lot of these things, these people that have seen Ninja and being like, oh my god, I'm gonna be the next Ninja, also don't understand that you are not gonna grow your viewership if you stream a popular game, because you're competing with million other streamers who are streaming exactly the same game. And also, if you don't genuinely love that game, you're gonna play something that is making you miserable, and the entire energy of the stream is gonna be
Yeah,
off.
and don't do that
So,
unless the intent going in is to broadcast, oh my god, I'm going to be playing this really bad game. Like, drop by and make fun of it
yeah.
with us.
Yeah, I mean, don't go streaming with the intent of, oh, I'm gonna become famous
No.
and make money with streaming. Because let's be real here. If that happens, you're gonna be an extreme exception, not a
No, like
rule.
I was blown away that I was able to be a part of like your community, Martina. Like, that was making it big for me. Like, I thought, oh, when I start up my Twitch channel officially, like last year, oh, I'll get like maybe 5, 6 viewers, and that'll be enough. I just need to make it through the pandemic. But
Mm-hmm.
no, that was huge to me. It's all about enjoying whatever you can do and wherever you can go with something that you love as a hobby. And if you make money from it on
Mm-hmm.
the side, good for you. But don't expect to
Yeah,
rely on that.
exactly.
Yeah,
It's a hobby.
yeah, a lot of people don't realize that those big, huge streamers that earn shit tons of money actually have to do a lot more work into it than just playing video games in front of a computer. Because,
Yeah.
you have to like keep your online presence, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube,
Yep.
find yourself an editor in the end, because you can't do all the shit by yourself when you're
Negotiate
trying to.
brand deals.
Oh yeah, also that as well. And like at the point
Mm-hmm.
where like you're really big and you're trying to put out a video every day or every 2 days, there's a lot of work to do that. You can't just like, oh, I'm just gonna press record and just upload whatever
No,
whatever I
Yeah,
record.
exactly.
your portfolio of responsibilities grows exponentially as your opportunities for making money do. Like, if my
Mm-hmm.
channel overnight transformed into the Overanalyst brought to you by Haribo sugar-free gummy bears, I would have to do a lot more work to promote that product, and God knows that's a big job right now.
Not only that, but you would have to clean your toilet way more than you
Oh
do now.
no!
But wouldn't it be easier to just say brought to you by extreme diarrhea?
Yeah, no,
Horror show of tonight.
NVIDIA graphics processors bringing you the most realistic diarrhea you've ever seen.
Anyways, that was it for like my experience. How was your experience, Brady?
Well, I think I am kind of the intermediate here as far as like streaming time. I've been involved with streaming myself, but unlike either of you guys, before I started, I obviously I knew what Twitch was, but I didn't watch a lot of it. I am a huge fan, oddly enough, of like really smartly edited like playthroughs, like the stuff that Chip Cheesem and General Ironicus would put up back in the day on YouTube, or the stuff that Super Best Friends Play would upload as long as the Zaibatsu was still together. Both great Let's Play channels, by the way. But I, having been experienced in broadcasting before, working at one of my college radio stations for about 3.5 years in undergrad, and really enjoying it and receiving a fairly positive reception from the community around me, decided that, well, it would be wonderful if I, with my complete and total lack of technical know-how, could dive onto this platform, dive onto Twitch, and maybe just share my passion for games, and specifically like kind of amateur game design criticism with the wider world. It would be lovely to connect with people who are passionate about some of the same things I am, and discuss our hobbies together. That would be lovely, and share like the experience of me trying and failing to navigate certain games with them. It would be a wonderful thing. So, back in early either 2018 or 19, I want to say 19, I set up a Twitch channel and put together the most like amateurish looking streaming rig imaginable, using like PlayStation 4 share and a microphone I had balanced on the arm of my couch to stream sporadically, like my first playthrough of Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice. But then graduate school happened, and it happened hard and fast, and I kind of didn't have the time to invest in this setup, invest in this hobby that I wished I had, because I always wanted to produce something that, you know, isn't super complicated on a technological level, but that at the very least people could tell some effort was put into, instead of, well, all right, y'all, Daisy's gonna be playing some Apex Legends. I don't just got back in from work and I don't know what's going on here, but god damn it, we're gonna do this. I wanted to create something that was intentional and that the audience could tell that I prioritized the stream and them. And I was able to dive back in this year, last year, oddly enough, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, because I'd been wanting to get back into streaming for so long, and I had my own place now. I'm living in a very nice apartment with very loud dogs overhead that inadvertently feature on several of my streams. And I had the space, I had more of the technology, and I, with the coming of the pandemic, suddenly had a more malleable schedule, at least at first, that I could use to dedicate streaming a few hours a day, several days a week. And it was also at a time when, it was just me here in my apartment. Around month 3 or 4, I realized that this kind of isolation, it's not good for me. It's not good for anybody right now, you know? And I needed to be proactive in doing whatever I could to like combat that, address that in a way that was productive. So I started working out a little bit more, started working on my diet, little things like that. But I also really invested a lot of time and effort into starting this Twitch thing up properly, because I thought, hey, now's the perfect time. It'll give me an outlet. I'm sure there's scores of people who want to tune into little projects like this right now for entertainment. We can all help each other, and I can hopefully get entrenched in this community and actually stay present this time. And I started streaming, I think it was like Hand of Fate, you know, the little indie kind of action RPG, choose your own adventure hybrid based around deck building. Very good game.
Yep.
And just like you, Martina, early on I'm getting like no viewers, maybe one viewer who like doesn't say anything, right? And a few streams in, after very sporadic audience engagement, I meet someone in the chat who ends up becoming my first mod and my longest serving ally in constructing my channel. They're like super enthusiastic about the game and super knowledgeable about it. It's something I love about my channel is I tend to attract a lot of people who are experts on the games I play, and I am not. And they're able to share cool little tips and tricks or personal experiences with me and the rest of the audience. And I think that kind of collaborative analysis of or discussion of a game is really, really fun. Always has been. And slowly but surely, as I start streaming other games, and I tend to play through, like you, Martina, I play through games that are less popular right now anyway. And I play through
Mm-hmm.
them in full more often than not. Uh, I start growing a small but fairly regular audience. And I start on this project late last year, um, where I play through all of the Soulsborne titles from Software that I actually own and have access to. Still waiting on that PS5. Um, and halfway through my Bloodborne playthrough, no, toward the end of my Bloodborne playthrough, our little community's chugging along just nice as you like. We've got a Discord now. I've got a small but very, very like familial audience. Everybody's super nice. Everybody's super eager to help one another with tech issues and all of that. We are a real like community, and I first time ever being part of something like that online. It just sent me over the moon. I guess we could say, discovered by one of Martina's mods while I'm playing through the Bloodborne DLC.
Ah, yeah, Exodus.
Yes, indeed. And he is apparently quite taken with my style. I don't know why, but the next stream, he brings Martina by after one of their streams had concluded, I believe. And
Mm-hmm.
this my first time meeting her and like several members of her community all at once. I am frothing with rage because I am fighting the most poorly designed boss, probably in the one of the most poorly designed bosses in the franchise. And it is a war of attrition. And somehow me completely losing my cool and melting down on stream ingratiates me to these professional established streamers. I still don't understand why. They're like, yeah, we like this guy. We like the man who's been eaten by the horse 50 times. And since they were kind enough to engage with me in my community, I start engaging with them in theirs. And so I start talking with Martina and Exit and Mate, and we pretty quickly, wouldn't you say within a couple weeks, when you start playing Dark Souls 1, I either talk my way onto / get invited onto the commentary panel.
Oh yeah. I think if I remember correctly, that was Exit's idea because he was like, "Oh, he's super knowledgeable about Souls. Like what if we bring like a commentator on the stream?" And I was like, you know what? That's actually a brilliant idea. And the rest is history.
Yeah. So I really, if we want to talk about my streaming experience, I'm just a guy who sits on my floor with a camera balanced on one of my ottomans, playing through video games I know next to nothing about more often than not. But insofar as my presence on Twitch, my impact where I really feel at home and what I enjoy doing most, I'm one of Martina's color commentators, and I'm a member of that community. I'm super grateful to have been allowed a spot in like you guys' community and in your like social circle, and to be able to do what I can to help, I guess, develop the channel in a supporting role. So many of my viewers are really just people that you've met through your networking or who are big fans of your streams. And you guys collectively have helped me grow and sustain my channel and also my sanity during the pandemic. So that to me, right, coupled with the interactions I had with my own audience that I developed, my smaller audience I developed outside of the context of the Seth the Overwitch channel, are what define Twitch, what define streaming channels, what define this community to me, and what I think is so impactful, so important about them. You're able to forge bonds and friendships with people from all around the world based around mutual interest. And one of the great things about the way streaming sites are set up is the audience has a direct line of communication to and interaction with the performer. in a way that isn't possible. Like lots of people talk about, oh, Twitter or Instagram, other social media networks make high profile figures or relatively high profile figures more accessible than ever. I don't think that's true because it's still kind of distant. It's still kind of, you're not both engaging with each other simultaneously. With Twitch,
Hmm.
I can go to a stream hosted by R&B legend T-Pain because he does stream regularly, and you
Oh,
can just
nice.
straight up talk to T-Pain. Why not? Um, we're able to, I think, bridge the gap between performer or communicator and audience on the internet through streaming platforms in a way that we haven't been able to do to the same extent so easily anywhere else. That's what makes streaming such a distinct form of online social engagement, I think. So, yeah, social engagement, interaction between streamer and audience, and my endless gratitude to a wonderful community for taking me in and allowing me to be a part. That's my experience in a nutshell.
Okay, I guess the last but not least, Mate, your.
Last and very much least. Well, I only recently started streaming again because Seth wouldn't leave me alone until I started.
Basically.
And then, it was fun. And then I have a little problem with my ISP, so I'm unable to stream. And I don't have proper internet for 41 days now. Jesus fucking
You
Christ.
counted?
Yes. Well, since it was the 1st of January when I stopped having proper internet, it's not that hard to
Right.
count. And slowly I'm getting to the point where I still believe violence is not the answer, but it would help me vent a lot of my frustration. Anyways, but like the first time I started streaming was I think in 2014ish, and it was just like for fun. It was just a bunch of us playing mostly grand strategies like the Paradox Interactive games, Crusader Kings, Stellaris, Europa Universalis, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And basically had no viewers except that one stream where I fell asleep for like 6 hours, and for some reason I had 6 people watching.
What?
Yeah. Oddly enough,
Wow.
a friend of mine, well, a friend of a lot of ours from college, other college stuff, not the one I went with you.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what friend?
Kill me. Anyways, she was like, she invited us over to her dorm for her birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't even go home that day. I just went to her dorm because it took me like an hour and a half to get home and then back to town.
Right.
Another hour and a half. So like, oh, we'll just start early and maybe stream a little. So what we did was, back when Twitch wasn't that harsh about it, we played a drinking game where we first started off with just guessing, like going through the Steam discovery queue.
Mm-hmm.
And guessing if a mutual friend of ours that has like 4,000 games and 10,000 games on his wish list
Oh my god.
has the game that is in queue, if he has the game or wants it on his wish list, or none of the above. And if you're correct, you're fine. If you guess wrong, you have to
Oh
drink.
no.
Yeah. And then, both slightly tipsy, we decided to play a shitty MOBA. And also, like, I play. If I get a kill, she has to drink. If I die, I have to drink. And then we'll switch
God.
over. Oh, yeah.
Oh no.
By the time others arrived, we were both pretty fucking drunk. And then it was, I think, for a while, one of her most watched streams. Mostly because, again, I fell asleep and it streamed me for like 45 minutes sleeping drunk.
See,
and she had like 25 viewers.
but see, this makes more sense to me than, given this context, than what you told us before. Because when you said when I fell asleep and I had like 6 followers, I thought you meant like you were playing Crusader Kings 2 and people were just kind of waiting to see, so what happens to the Byzantine Empire now?
Oh no, that time I had no face cam, nothing. It was just one point of the freaking map and you might have been able to hear me snoring in the background. I'm not sure.
The best
I
endorsement.
did not bother watching the whole VOD.
The best endorsement a Paradox game has ever had.
Oh yeah, it was like 2 hours of play, and then I think I haven't slept 2 days before that at all, and it was just like, while you guys are doing your shit, I set up everything for me. I can like chill out for the next 15 minutes. I'm just gonna go for a little power nap, and the
Yep.
power nap was really, really powerful.
You could bench rock
Oh, God.
afterwards.
Mm.
Oh man.
Shit, 6 years. I need to go through my statistics to see if I actually managed to beat this ever. I don't think I did.
Oh wow. So that was your experience with streaming. What about your experience as a viewer?
Oh, I think I started back when it was still actually just in TV.
Wow.
Yeah, and I mostly like back then it was just like just watch a bit of gaming, blah 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 bullshit. But then when it started as Twitch, I started mostly watching WoW players like Soda Poppin and all the other big ones. And it like what you said, Steph. It wasn't so much because he was playing WoW, because I can play WoW myself. It's usually more fun than watching someone else play.
Yeah.
But like the game got me to watch the stream. I enjoyed the stream because first of all, his community just enjoyed making him suffer. Like the dude got hacked several times on stream. Like he's doing a 24-hour stream, gets hacked mid-stream, and then has to call Blizzard support mid-fucking stream, and starts the call with, "I'm sorry, dude, this is probably gonna be the worst phone call of your day." There was a point where he
Wow.
was trying to transfer a character. You can't transfer a character while you have mail in your mailbox. And people kept sending him mail in game just to stop him from transferring his character. He calls support, starts talking to the girl on the other side, and the people that were spamming him in game started sending her letters to his mailbox.
Oh god. So
Wow.
squatting doesn't sound too bad by comparison, does it?
It's just temporary pain.
Oh, yeah, and back then, raiding was a bad thing. Like, his community would go on a streamer he had a minor feud with, go on his stream, and start spamming the chat to the point where his whole stream starts lagging like shit.
So,
because Twitch wasn't that big back then, so their servers were kind of shit.
So is that where the term raid derives its name from? Like kind of a term with more negative connotations?
I'm actually not sure. I didn't even know there was raiding until like a couple of months ago when I started like watching Seth's streams.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't know much about raids either before that, because on Mixer it was just called host, and there was a gigantic button that you can press to host people. But here in Twitch, you have to actually type in the command manually, which is an absolute shitty thing to do to improve like visibility of other people. And I didn't know what was the difference between raiding and hosting, so now I know.
Unless you have your channel set up to automatically host somebody else while you're offline.
That as well, yeah.
Yeah, but raid will just pull all your viewers to the other stream.
I have no experience with raiding firsthand because I stream at a time that is very, very late for most of my audience.
Well, yeah, for some reason your audience is mostly European and my audience is mostly American. I don't know how and why.
I think that's awesome. I've met so many wonderful, interesting folks through streaming.
Yeah, no, I think Brady, you need to move into Seth's apartment and Seth needs to move into yours and problem solved.
You cannot have
That's all right. Enjoy all of the gray.
Yay.
And the dogs.
Again, I basically live in a waiting room.
Wow. Okay.
What are you
So, what
waiting
about
for?
you, Brady? Have you
The sweet, sweet embrace of death. Oh no, wait, that's me.
for the quarantine to end?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Also, while we were chatting, I just got a notification from my phone saying German government pushes to extend COVID-19 shutdown until March 14th. So one more
It's all
month.
right.
Woo!
The vaccine is on
At
its way.
TM. Yeah, anyways, Brady, you said it like you said you talked about your experience as a streamer, but as a
So as I
watcher?
said,
Watcher? That sounds so
I
creepy.
don't watch an awful lot of Twitch except when people I know are streaming. Because
Mm-hmm.
as you guys are aware, having known me for some time, I tend to be very, very active if I'm in someone's chat.
Yep.
Because I want to engage with them. I think it's a nice way of showing support. So I have attended. Obviously, I attend your streams religiously, Martina. Um, as
Good.
soon as you have internet again, Mate, I'll be watching your streams as well. Looking forward to the
Yeah, don't wait up.
looking forward to the continuation.
Don't
Hollow
hold your
Knight.
breath.
Um,
Oh
I
yeah.
and I occasionally can catch a bit of some of our friend streams, like Eclipse Sight or Dancing Pot or Lackey Lane. Um, fairly certain I
Mm-hmm.
pronounced all of those correctly. Um, I, I'm a teacher, okay? I professionally mispronounce things. I
Nice.
I find that the best Twitch streams, the content I enjoy the most, is that where somebody is focused on the game generally and is attempting to talk their way through like certain challenges or obstacles, like communicating with the chat but sharing the experience of playing the game with them rather than just having the game as background noise while they talk about, whatever. Large or
Mm-hmm.
the streams I really like, both to watch and to take part in, same with Let's Plays, are those with a commentary panel where several people are talking with each other
Yeah.
and interacting with the game at once. Um, I think
Mm-hmm.
the greatest praise that I've seen any of us or us collectively receive came from one of our viewers, Schnalfi, on one of our Neo streams, your Neo streams,
Mm-hmm.
when
Yeah.
he said like he loved that the atmosphere of the stream felt kind of like a flat party, like all three of us were just hanging
Yeah.
out on the couch, and that
Mm-hmm.
atmosphere, very vaguely articulated, is the kind I tend to really be drawn to when I watch Twitch streams.
Yeah. It feels much
Yes,
more
natural.
natural.
There you go.
Yeah. To be honest, Brady, whenever Seth is streaming any Souls like and you're there, it's both of your stream, not just Seth's stream.
Yeah.
No. It's
Definitely.
Steph's stream with me acting as the Ed McMahon to her Johnny Carson.
Doesn't
Yeah, but
matter.
you're
It's
one of the
it's
main
both of you. Like
Thank you,
components.
guys.
Yeah.
just one of you would not be
No,
enough.
trust me. I have
Yeah.
watched some of my own VODs. One of us is not enough.
And three of us would be
Oh
too
no,
much.
three of us is perfect. As you have evidenced, because you lovely people have been watching the Overanalysts or listening to the Overanalyst for over a month now. Three of us, just right.
Wait,
Just
they're not
right.
watching us? Why do I keep fucking... Never mind.
Okay, I'm creeped out now. I'm gonna cover my camera. Anywho, so how about some closing words? I think we have a perfect amount of footage now. So,
Mate?
yes.
Oh, here, I'll start. Amazon bad, Twitch bad, but Twitch sometimes good. And also, if you have an opportunity to take Deutsche Telekom or any other ISP owned by them as your ISP, please don't fuck them sideways with a cactus. That's it for me.
Okay, anyways, Brady.
To conclude my remarks for this episode based largely around streaming and the communities based around them more generally, I would like firstly to say thank all of you for listening. the aspect of all this, as I said, I prize the most is the opportunity to share our thoughts and ourselves like with an audience. Like, and we greatly appreciate all of you for interacting with us and being present for this. This is the most rewarding aspect of everything that I do online, right? Is being able to create something that hopefully is worthwhile to some of you out there. And in that vein, I would invite you all to join Martina's Discord, where there are dedicated channels where you can post about the podcast or suggestions for the podcast. We would love to hear what you have to say about this episode or suggestions that you can offer maybe for future topics. Something in particular I would like to know is, would you guys like us to do more episodes featured like specifically on streaming, like platforms or streaming culture, significant phenomena, something like that? But that's all I have to say.
Yeah. And I guess the only thing that I wanted to say is thank you all for tuning in this week as well to another episode of The Overanalysts. And hopefully we are going to hear each other next week as well.